What's up, everybody? Like he said, my name is Clint Esposito. So as you can tell by my last name and my nose, I'm Italian. We are very fun people, but we're also you're with us or against us. The only dish that we have without pasta is literally called antipasta. I also have a confession to make. I sometimes go on trips, and while I'm driving, I pull into the gas station, and then I pull out the wrong way, then I get lost, and then I'm a guy, so I don't ask for directions. What I'm saying is I have erectile dysfunction. I'm hoping they come up with a pill for that. When I was a kid, I was a remedial kid. Do you guys know what that means? It means I'm not slow enough to get praised for doing everyday things. But I am slow enough to get ridiculed for poor spelling on the internet daily. So it's like a sweet spot on there. And I'm 43, and I don't think I'm old, I don't feel old, but at the same time, a lot of stuff has changed since I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, we didn't wear bicycle helmets because brain damage wasn't really a thing. What was I talking about? When I was a kid, you didn't smoke weed to help with anxiety. It gave you anxiety because 2 hits in, you knew the cops were coming. Like they definitely know. They're on their way. When I was a kid, there was no safe spaces in school. The only video game we had was Oregon Trail. Do you guys know about that? It's a game where you watch your family slowly die one by your poor decisions. Like trying to cross a river you shouldn't have. Kids today would be like, this game is bullshit. People don't die from the flu. And why is there no vaccine for dysentery? Well, that just means your aunt was a dirty, dirty bitch. That's all that means. There's no way around that. And when I was a kid, there was no participation trophies. The losing team actually lined up and got spit on by the parents. That's why I'm so tough now. This is true. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I haven't gotten over it.
Both sides of the team, your own parents spit on you. It's horrible. And when I was a kid, there was no spectrum. Me being remedial, you were either retarded or you weren't. So you can imagine where I landed on that spectrum. Wasn't good. 2020, they ruined TV. I'm just going to go out and say it. They ruined TV. They got rid of Cops, which was a great show, because if you were upset with life, you could just check in with Florida. It's not even bad here. This is pretty good. They also got rid of live EMT, or live rescue, which is basically instead of following cops, they follow EMTs. It was just the second half of ridiculousness. Just switch over there for the continuation. So with all those getting taken off of TV, it made me think, if I was going to make a TV show, what would I make? So I came up with the show Clapped. And it's about people to get revenge on being given the clap. It's fairly specific. But I figure somebody gets the clap, right? First episode, he's like, but I didn't trip. I didn't even get rid of it. I kept it for like 2-3 months till she called me for a booty call, and that's when I clapped back. Probably only good for a season, I would imagine. Does anybody watch Law and Order? Do you know who produces it? Dick fucking Wolf. Nobody's ever as excited about this guy's name as I am. I mean, but it's super cool, right? Legal paper, it reads Wolf Dick. Which is cool enough on its own. It's my little baby Wolf Dick. He's here. No, but I figure he should have probably done porn with a name like Dick Wolf, obviously. Because then he could have had a finishing move. He'd be like, oh! Nobody has a finishing move in porn. First guy. But probably I'm imagining somebody at some point was like, maybe he's a director. Maybe he used to direct porn. I don't know. And then somebody at one point was like, hey, Dick, you're really good at this. And he said, thanks. And they're like, no, too good at this. What's with the plot twist? People are just trying to jerk off. Confusing people. So it made me think, if I was going to make a porn series, what would I make? And I thought first about Bring It Schlong, because then you're set up for a sequel, Bring It Schlong again. But I think I would make Cuckleberry Finn. It's just me and a black guy banging people's wives and making them watch. That's the premise of the whole hay in my mouth. Somebody's definitely getting shot. So it made me realize that prostitution is illegal unless you film it. So if you ever get caught and the cops come, you'd be like, no, you have it wrong. This isn't prostitution. It's a production. What's your email? I'll send you a link when it's done. So you guys are young. You guys use Pornhub or OnlyFans?
No, Pornhub.
See, I use OnlyFans because then I'm not a pervert. I'm a philanthropist. When I tip, I like to comment, get that baby some diapers. Just to drive it home. You guys are married, obviously? Do you? Oh, she was like, no. Do you guys fart in front of each other?
We're sort of married.
You're sort of married. Do you guys fart in front of each other?
Yeah.
You do? See, I have a fiance now. I don't fart in front of her. And not because I'm that polite, just because I don't want her to think it's okay to fart in front of me. That's the only reason. Yeah, she'll be like, oh, well, you're doing it. No, no, no. We had a conversation once about, she kind of realized, she goes, oh man, you know, if they had the testing they have now, back then, when you were a kid, you would probably be on the spectrum. And I was like, and you're okay with that? And she said, yeah. And I've been rethinking our relationship ever since then. I'm like, you're okay with it? Seriously? It's a questionable move. Then we had another conversation about sexuality, and she goes, sometimes even though I don't feel like a woman, I know that I'm not a man. And I said, that's good, because I don't want to have to kill you. Although, I'm not an NFL athlete, so that's, you know, I don't know if I'm allowed. So it's 2023, I know that the environment is important. It's super important, but I drive a big diesel truck. And I've thought about reducing my carbon footprint, but then how is everybody going to know about my huge carbon dick? Nobody will know. You can't just show your dick anymore. It's not like the 2000s. You guys missed that. Can't do that anymore. I actually traded in slightly above average dick for a little bit bigger tires on my truck, just because everybody could see that. Everybody makes like that's how it works, right? If he's got big tires, he definitely traded dick in for that. What else did they fuck up during? Oh, do you guys like drugs?
Yeah.
Just you. Just you're the only guy. I assume you're not excited about your blood pressure medicine.
Oh, you're sure?
So there's two types of drugs, right? There's illegal drugs. We don't need commercials for those. You guys excited weed is legal?
Yeah.
You guys are very unenthusiastic young drug fans. Well, anyway, that's why I gave it up. It's too mainstream now. So now I just do mushrooms, coke, and fentanyl. That's it. You guys ever done mushrooms?
No.
And race go-karts?
No.
It's true. Everybody dies, but not everybody truly lives. Does anybody ever, you guys obviously haven't microdosed then, if you haven't had mushrooms. Do you guys know what microdosing is? That's when you take mushrooms first thing in the morning. Respectably. It's not like alcohol where you do it later in the afternoon. You do it first thing. That way you can trip on less. That's the key. But microdosing is good and bad. It makes you realize that you've been viewing life through a very small window and that everything, all your negative reactions and feelings are just undealt with trauma from the past. The bad part is that you realize you've been looking at life through a very narrow viewpoint and that all the negative things that have ruined your life are just undealt with trauma from the past. For instance, I realized through microdosing that I'm much better looking than I always thought, which is terrible. Because that means that everybody that dislikes me does solely based on who I am as a person. It's difficult to deal with. It's too real for you guys. I think coke should be legal. I'm going to leave you with this. You guys saw the movie Flight, I say.
Oh, yeah.
Quick synopsis. Denzel Washington is a pilot that likes to get super wasted. So he gets wasted before an early flight. What does he do? Yayo. During the same flight, he gets into a dive that to this day the best pilots have not been able to duplicate in a simulator. It's basically a PSA for why you should get a safe driver discount for doing coke and driving. You should literally get pulled over and the cop's like, have you been drinking? And you go, yes, but I also did cocaine. Well, how much cocaine did you do, sir? And you're like, well, I bought a teener, I did 2 lines. I thought that would be enough, but the coke sucks, so I did the whole bag. I figure I have about 20 minutes to make it home before this shit wears off. Well, it looks like you're going to have to go down this alleyway right here. Make a right. I will radio ahead. Make sure nobody pulls you over, okay? Thank you for being a responsible adult. Please be on your way. That's how the interaction should go. I'm going to leave you with one last question. During the pandemic, all the kids were homeschooled. Does that mean every place was a drug-free school zone, or no place was a drug-free school zone?
No.
We don't know that. You guys are just guessing. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you very much. Follow me on the things at, get ready, get your phones out, make a note. It's very confusing. At Clint Esposito. I came up with that because I'm a creative. Oh, I did that. All right. Thank you guys. Later.